So here at DIT, one of the important things for us now that we're a couple of years old is that our customers are really selling our technology and our innovation and all of the other products that we have. So the following video is an interview with Ben McGlynn, who's been a great supporter of DIT very early on. He's one of the first adopters of our technology and water supplementing program on the Barclay Tableland. Ben's at Rocklands Stations at Camel Wheel. It's a really great video on some of the benefits he's had from water supplementing, some of the reasons why we're doing such good business with Ben and his business, and we're so passionate about seeing his operation succeed and increase production. So enjoy the following video, should I say, and I think you'll all get a lot out of it. Thanks.
You know, the results are actually quite noticeable to look at the cattle on a comparison to cattle in other paddocks. I think as a new technology, like, it's definitely given us some confidence that, you know, we're able to get the intakes into the cattle through the water consumption rather than trying to make them feed out of a bunk or a tub, feeding a loose lick. Yeah, I think probably feeding supplements probably one of the, you know, sort of the old school, you know, you'd sort of say mostly like a Neanderthal practice that we're still doing in Northern Australia. So to have you know, some technologies like this that can actually take a lot of pressure off in terms of labour and still get the production from the herd, I think it's quite amazing. In our system, it's fully serviced by a technician that's available 24/7. But even for us, like, to change a unit out or to fill one up is actually quite simple. It's a simple process, and with the safety mechanisms like on the unit now and the satellite telemetry, you know, I think it's actually like, yeah, it's quite bomb-proof, really. So in Northern Australia, I think, you know, lactational and estrus in Bos Indicus cattle, being your Brahman types, it's always been a struggle to get cows to ovulate while lactating. So we've always tried to stimulate ovulation, like by feeding supplements or, you know, getting out and processing cattle to have that effect, you know, to increase that and get the cow cycling, you know, through a supplement is definitely beneficial to the business. The guarantee with this here is that we know that the correct, you know, intake of whatever it be, being a urea base or a phosphorus base supplement, is going into the cattle through their water intake. Whereas a custom mix, we're promoting intake through protein like lollies, or we're getting them onto it because they are deficient. So we're not really capturing microbial activity in the rumen at an early stage. We're sort of reactive feeding the supplement to get through a period of time. We've seen an increase in reconception rates of probably 15%, and we've seen an increase in body condition, which is related to about 20 kgs of live weight. The positive thing with Northern Australia is there's a lot of unlocked secrets and new technologies that haven't evolved. You know, we sit on a doorstep of, you know, developing countries in Asia that we're on a prime position to be, you know, feeding the world. The more efficient we can make our businesses and the more profitable we are, you know, the more gains we can make in our own systems is just going to influence how Australian agriculture is going to influence the world. I think just, you know, with the technology, the way it's set up now, it's definitely something I was concerned about. Like with previous work done in this space, you know, there's been some horror stories around ammonia poisoning by high doses of urea in waters, but this system seems to have the technology to automatically shut down, and also the way it's soluble, like this UCARM we're using in UFOS, and it's fine for horses, dogs, everything can drink it. I suppose there's probably two different sides of this. Like, we've got our land business and then the productivity side, but there's a massive increase in what it costs to produce a kilo, like especially in Northern Australia, with the increase in freight costs and selling costs and commissions and just general overheads, diesel price. So that's sort of taking a bit of cream out of the system. So that it's quite challenging, but we've got to make sure that we understand our costs, what it costs to produce a kilo, and drive as many kilos out of our businesses that we can. On a production side, I think looking across Australia, in our best management practices, I think welfare is definitely a major component that we're sort of doing a lot of R&D in. We're utilising a lot of trisulfan, analgesics, injectable Metacam, meloxicam, pain reliefs, like for performing processes. Wherever we've got 1 foot ahead in the industry, and creating a great public perception for urban Australia, then we're probably on the right track. They probably don't understand that it's probably 37 degrees right now, and I think a lot of it's remote living, location. A lot of our local services are up to 200 to 500 to 600 kilometres away. We don't have a lot of resources around us that we can rely on to live our lives. Like, we're fully independent. We slaughter our own cattle for consumption. We grow a lot of our own veggies on farm. We do a lot of social activities within a regional perspective. Cricket days, so we create a lot of our own fun. It's a different world to living in the city, but it's actually quite rewarding, working with animals and people and obtaining results in such a climatic, sort of harsh environment. I just feel our industry is such a unique industry that there's just so much to get a handle on to be a good cattle producer. Whether it's bores and waters and supplement feeding, it's running the business, cost of production, managing the range lands, grazing land management, marketing. So to work in this industry, we have to obtain a lot of skills rather than just specialising in one particular area. Yeah, I actually think it's fantastic. Like, I was really excited to hear about it and to go through the process of getting some units installed, and then also having the opportunity to measure it alongside these guys to be in a position to influence for the industry. I think it's going to have some huge economic benefits from a production perspective, but also an overhead perspective in any northern business. And whatever we're developing and putting in infrastructure that we can see here, it's going to be quite achievable, low cost, easy utilisation system to run. To have people, like Mark and his team, to come out on farm with a lot of industry experience and go through, they've got a huge understanding of where we sit as producers, and their philosophy sort of fits into our business.